Welcome back, everyone. This is Mindy Egan guesting for Ellen Hutson today. I'm excited to be here. I did want to apologize up front if I sound a little different because I do have a horrible head cold that I've been dealing with. My project for today is going to be featuring the Good Egg stamp set, which was released July 2019, exclusive to Ellen Hutson, and you'll be able to find that at ellenhutson.com. I'm going to start my card project by creating the background for my card. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of Nina Silhouette cardstock, 80 pound, and I am just attaching the Drift and Hills stencil from My Favorite Things, and I'm just using some purple tape to hold that stencil in place. I wanted to create some hills for my background. Growing up, I did grow up out in the country. We did have lots of chickens, and my mom still does, and so I really wanted to have this countryside look to go with my chicken that I'll be using. So I'm starting off with that hill, and I'm ink blending Jelly Bean Green ink from Gina K Designs with a blending brush. And then I'm just moving that stencil so I can have a hillside in the background as well, holding that with the purple tape. And then I'm ink blending some more of that green, and I'm going right up to the edge of my first hill. I just apply my ink from the top of the hill and work my way down. And we have this great hillside to go with our background right now. Next, I'm taking the Sunrise Radiating stencil, attaching that to the cardstock, and I'm masking off my hillside. I wanted the sun to be coming up behind the hills. I didn't want the sun rays to get on my hillside, so I'm just taking some of the thicker purple tape, the wider one, masking off that hill. And then I'm going to come in with Wild Dandelion for my sun rays, and I'm going to blend that all over the background here. You could mask off the top if you wanted that to be your whole card front, but I knew I'd be trimming this down, so I'm not really worried if I'm getting ink above that stencil line. Then I'm going to come in with Sweet Mango, and I'm adding that to the very bottom. So right where the sun is starting to come up, I added that little bit of orange. And once I remove the stencil, I'm coming back over that with the Wild Dandelion, and I'm just adding a light coat of that color. I don't want it to be too harsh. I just wanted to tame down that white a little bit. That pretty much finishes off the background, so I'm going to work on my stamping. This is the Good Egg stamp set. It has a bunch of different chicken images on here and some really funny sentiments that you'll have to check out. I loved this one with an attitude. It was so funny to me. So I'm taking another piece of Nina Silhouette cardstock, and that's 80 pound, stamping that in some Copic friendly ink. And then I'm going to also stamp my sentiment. I had already die cut this from white cardstock. This is using the Stitched Speech Bubble from Lawn Fawn. So I just placed that into my MISTI, and this is one of the sentiments off of the stamp set. It says Old Bird, and then the inside of my card I can write any message I want, which is probably going to be a happy birthday card. I think this is something really funny I can give my friends. So once I have everything stamped, I'm going to start coloring my image. Now, when you're working on something that's going to be white, which is what I wanted to color my chicken, I'm going to leave a lot of white space. So for my marker colors, these are the Copic markers. I'm using W4, W2, W1, and W0. And I'm adding that darkest color right along the edge of the body there by the wings, under the neckline, and then just a little bit underneath the ruffles. I'm not blending out all the way. I do go over these with the lighter colors just to soften that up, but I'm leaving a lot of that white space because I wanted my chicken to be white. Then I'm going to bring in a YR16 and an R24 to color the top of the chicken and also the beak. I didn't do any shadowing there just because they are really small, so there wasn't much to shadow. Then I can use the coordinating die to die cut this out, and you can use any die cutting machine that you prefer. And I'll just remove that purple tape, and I have that cute little attitude chicken there ready for my card front. Super, super fun and cute. So here's my card front. I already trimmed down my ink blended panel, and I have another piece here of white cardstock, And I'm going to use red velvet cardstock from Gina K Designs as my base. So I'm just lining up where I want my images to go, how my card front's going to look. It's a very simple design, but I think it's really fun. I did go ahead and trim some craft foam down to the size of my ink blended panel, lined the front and back of that craft foam with double-sided tape, and then added that to the back of my ink blended panel. This is just going to give my card a little bit of dimension since it is a pretty simple design. I wanted to add just a little bit more to my card front. And I did already go ahead and attach the white cardstock piece to my red base. Now I did forget to trim that speech bubble down before I added that ink blended panel. So I just snipped off a piece there and lined it up with the edge. And I wanted to have a little bit of a cast shadow underneath my chicken. So I'm just taking a couple of my W2 and 1, I think, Copic markers and added a little bit of shadow underneath my chicken. And then I added some foam squares. These are from Gina K Designs. Just popped up my chicken there a little bit. And then I'll just take my adhesive, add that to the back of that speech bubble, and attach that to my card front. That is going to finish off my card for today. Be sure to check below in the video description for the supplies that I used to create this card. And this stamp set, like I said, is available exclusively to Ellen Hutson, so be sure to head over to ellenhutson.com to pick yours up. I want to thank Ellen Hutson so much for inviting me to the channel today. Thanks for stopping by, and have an amazing day.